Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the One World Citizens Reporter. My name is Alice. I'm a social entrepreneur and I am an active member of One World Citizens in the Netherlands. Today in the studio with us is Monique. She's here
Yes,
next to
hello
me.
everyone.
Hi,
Good
Monique.
evening. Hi, Alice.
Probably you all know her. She is founder and director of One World Citizens. And today we will bring you a new episode of the One World Citizens Reporter, in which we will interview Yvan from Team Rwanda. But before we get to that, I also want to tell you that you're welcome to share your thoughts and your ideas and your questions in the comments, so we can involve it in the rest of the episode. So during the interview, or maybe you have questions for me and Monique, please share your thoughts and your support. And the One World Citizens Reporter is really here to connect the One World Citizens Network online, to show you what is going on in our beautiful network, all the projects, etc., and also the people behind it. So yeah, starting maybe to tell a bit about One World Citizens, Monique, can you tell us a little bit about what is our goal, our mission, in short, for the people who are new with us today?
Of course I can, and I like it. One World Citizens is a network of an international network of youngsters from about 16 countries, also developing countries. And especially youngsters who have ideas for change in their own community themselves already. And the community, the One World Citizens community, is there to meet each other and to help each other to work out the ideas into projects, or even better, startups. And since 2015, our approach is based on the SDGs, the 17 Global Goals for Sustainable Development. Because the youngsters of the network said, well, everything we think we should change in the world is in it. So let's embrace this document as our base document and work from this document worldwide together on these goals, 17 goals, but also especially with no one left behind. So it means everyone included. So that's our direction, our focus. And they developed a concept themselves, the youngsters. And the group is in between 10 to 30 years old. And the concept is named Living Legends. And Living Legends means they are youngsters who work out their ideas for change into startups, but not only for themselves or their own community, but also willing to help youngsters in other cities and countries to copy the idea or the startup, and even help them to find a way to implementation. And by doing this, the good examples, sharing them and helping others with implementation, they see themselves really change the world together. Can we go back one slide, Alice?
Yes, I can. The one with the One World Citizens Network, do you mean?
Yeah, because there is the text, we make work of basic needs. So today we'll meet Yvan and maybe Jean Paul, if he can manage, from Rwanda. And the past weeks we met Augustine from Kenya and Pradeep from Nepal. And with them we work on basic needs. So water, food, renewable energy, but also ICT. And our approach is that we try to make work of it. So we create employment by finding solutions for example, the clean drinking water in Kenya, and see that youngsters can really make employment out of it. Thank you, Alice. The next one, please.
Yes, I will.
Is it possible? So by working together from the very different countries since 2012, we saw in all countries there are youngsters with smartphones and good ideas for change. Also in developing countries, and that's very interesting. Next slide, please. It's like I'm doing a presentation, but it's really good to show because it is so essential. By these smartphones, and the next slide, the youngsters, we can see not all youngsters in the countries, of course, have smartphones, but a lot of them. And by this, they can see the world. They can see the opportunities in other countries. And if you can show the next slide, Alice, they have also a way to teach themselves, to learn about the topics they would like to change in their countries. And by that, they come to ideas. And what we do now is connect youngsters by smartphone in a free of cost, to share the ideas. And more than that, we also bring the youngsters from the different countries together to help each other to work out the ideas by the knowledge and the expertise they have. And maybe also money or stuff that are necessary to implement the projects. And what we found out by doing this during 8 years, we don't have to bring the ideas to other countries. It makes sense to connect the youngsters from the different countries so that they can share the ideas and the knowledge. But in all the countries, the youngsters themselves have the ideas. So as we from the Western countries, they don't have to bring our ideas or our knowledge, or best solutions, let's say, to, for example, developing countries. We support each other. And that's really a nice attitude, a nice way to work together. And this we also do in Rwanda since 2017.
Wonderful. And today we have with us Yvan in the studio, who is working in the team of Rwanda. He's one of the living legends, we could say. And we are happy that he's here today so we can ask him questions about what he's doing, about the projects that are going on in Rwanda, and hopefully inspire everyone who's watching today, including us as well. Monique, can you tell us a bit about the team in Rwanda and about Yvan, and maybe to give us a short introduction to the interview?
Yeah. So Yvan and Jean Paul are part of the Rwanda Citizens community since 2017. Also because we got a grant, a kind of grant from the city of Eindhoven. To work together on the global goals, and especially with youngsters from Eindhoven and Rwanda. And in our network, we in general work together online, but by this grant, we were also able to meet each other in 2018 and 2019 during 3 weeks and work together in Kigali in Rwanda. And in general, we can say that we do meaningful projects together. We were able to organize meaningful projects together. From the power of youngsters, but also from the communities. And they came up with 8 ideas from the beginning, 8 projects, and I think 5, 6 are already running. So they are really creative, amazing team. And I think it's time to invite Yvan to this interview.
Yes, I will. Here he is. Hi, Yvan.
Hello,
hey, Yvan.
hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice you're here.
Yeah, and we were planning to have Jean Paul in our interview too, of course. Maybe he will make it. He's trying to connect, but he is on the way to Rusizi, so he's not at a stable place yet. And he will join us maybe 10 minutes later or otherwise next week. So now it's you, Yvan.
And you have a lot to share and to tell us, so I'm sure we can make it a good episode with you as well. So yeah, if Jean Paul can't make it, we will interview him another day with the OWC Citizens Reporter.
Yeah.
For the people who are watching, if you have any questions to Yvan, please write them in the comments. I see Augustine, he's here. He's wishing as well. Augustine, we interviewed in the episode 2. It was a retake. So if you want to watch it back, his interview, Augustine is from Kenya. He does very interesting work, so you can watch it back on our Facebook channels or also on YouTube on the OWC Citizens YouTube channel. You can watch the episode back. And I see here Jean Paul is online, so he's in the chat, but he's not in the studio. So let's see if we can help him another week for him to join us in the studio as well. But hey, Jean Paul, good that you're here.
Yeah, and Yvan, yeah, we both know Rwanda is a beautiful country, the land of 1,000 hills. Can you tell us a bit about Rwanda and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you very much. I can't tell you how much I'm excited to be here to participate in this episode of One World Citizen Reporter, where my original names are Manzi Eve, but to make it short, you can always call me Ivan. I'm fine with that. Where I can say, in short, Rwanda is a country of amazement. Is a country where you have the ability to explore what you know and your knowledge and to be put into action. Apart from Rwanda being known, most of the people know Rwanda as a victim of the bad history we had in 1994, the genocide. That's what I'm talking about. But I can say for now, Rwanda has improved and has developed dramatically that people are always amazed by the development we have. Like we have got schools, we have hospitals, we've got nice roads, and trust me, if you haven't visited Rwanda, you should consider that the next time you think of touring around the world. It is amazing, in short.
Yes, I agree. And how was it to grow up for you in Rwanda?
Yeah, as any other African country, growing up was not easy at all because, like, for example, the education system in Rwanda is totally different from the education system in Netherlands or other foreign countries. Uh, but I can say, even though it was not easy, but it was right. It was the right. If you face the challenges during education, like for example, you might not have enough materials that you need for your studies, but you always find yourself through out of that and we succeed. And what you choose for yourself is what you become. And I can also say that growing up in Rwanda was also an adventure. It was an adventure, like, for example, you we all have big dreams as the Rwandan youth and youngsters. We have big dreams. We think of developing our countries because sometimes, differently from our elders, we have got different imaginations. We have got some knowledge that we think we need to put into action so that we can develop our communities. Some elder or grown-ups in Rwanda have still have the old misunderstandings that technology or maybe the world developing dramatically is not a good thing. But we are working as hard as we could to prove them wrong that technology can be used to good and there is the strength and power in the youngest generation. So it is up to us to make up the country that we need Rwanda to be. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Yeah, and how is life for youngsters in general now? Also, what do they need most, do you think?
Yes. Well, the life for youngsters nowadays is, I can say, it's complicated because we are having the high rates of unemployment. We have most of the graduated youngsters don't have jobs, and it's not easy to create jobs here in Rwanda. Like, for example, you think of business, but you don't know where you're going to get the sponsorship or the ability to start up or the capital, all those basic needs that you need for developing yourself. So unemployment is the first and major problem we are facing here in Rwanda. And also there is the ideology for the youngsters where they think that they will survive on their family's legacy. Like if my dad is a doctor, I have to become a doctor. If my dad is a lawyer, I have to become a lawyer. They still think that their families will make a living for them. And most of the time, the families also can't afford that kind of life their children need. And another thing is that the youngsters most of the time are being looked down upon. Like, for example, I got my skills, I have my knowledge, or where maybe I don't have my degree yet, but if I am able to do something, it's not easy for me to make an approach to the authorities responsible for what I want to do, and they enable me to do that. They still think that if you are young, you don't have experience to do that. And I think the experience means starting from zero and building your way up. So that's also one of the common things that most of the youngsters face here in Rwanda. And I can say what I think they need most is empowerment. They need empowerment, they need inspiration, they need to find sponsorship for their projects, and they need to be heard, the advocacy to be heard to reach to those high levels that we ourselves can't afford.
Yeah, and we did two things during 2017, I think more than that, but what I want to share is we found out that the only difference between you and me, for example, or youngsters in Rwanda and in the Netherlands and in Nepal and other countries, is the access to development, to education, to opportunities. That's the only thing. When we talk about future and how should we change, what can we do, we have similar visions. So that's why from 2017 we started a project especially for bringing change in the unemployment by working on sustainable change in combination with startups. And I see Jean Paul is there. I'm also curious.
I'm not sure if he can hear us. Hey, Jean Paul.
Yes, how are you?
You can hear us. We can hear you too.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Happy that you are here. Welcome.
Yeah, thank
you. And
you.
as we can see, it's getting dark in Rwanda now. So you're still outside.
Yeah.
So we've been talking with Yvan a little bit about how it is, how Rwanda is, and how youth are growing up there, and how Yvan grew up there. Maybe Jean Paul, you also want to share a bit about who are you, and how it was for you to grow up, or how did you grow up in Rwanda?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My name is NDUWIMANA Jean Paul. I was born in the western province of Rwanda, especially in Rusizi district, from a family of 7 children. I'm the second one. I grew up in that village, but at the age of 3 years old, I moved from that place to my grandmother's place, which is like the capital district of the western province. Then I grew up there in the Muslim community because my family staying there, they are all Muslim. Then the time came, I went to school. I did just after primary school, secondary school. Then I moved to university because I really liked to do journalism, because during my school, really everyone was telling me, really, you are talented, you can be a musician, you can be journalist. Then I said, let me go to university, but then I chose the faculty that really I liked the most. Then after that, after my secondary school, after getting the diploma, then my expectation was that perhaps I can get a job, yes, and perhaps go to work in a government institution. But when I finished, it was really not the same. because during that day, really everyone was busy working hard for his own interest. And then when I tried to find like a job, then I found that the salary that they should give me was really less than the work that I was perhaps I can provide. And since that day, I said, let me see how perhaps I can even create something that can bring money for me. Yes, just to create a kind of job. Because I was also seeing that around me, there are so many youngsters who are also suffering like me. That's when I said, let me see among the talents that I have, let me see among the talent I have, and then see which talent can I develop. Since then, I said, most of people, especially the students that we were together at secondary school, they told me, please, can you go to music? Can you do music? Because you can sing, and when you go to some national competitions, sometimes you win, and you can win and you be the first in the country. Then I said, it's okay. That's how I started doing my music by the help of some people from my community. I managed to make my first song. It was all about the Rwandan genocide. After that, after my first song, which was called the Birababaje, many people discovered me, especially the Rusis district authorities. They said, this is really a great talent that we have to support, because if we support him, perhaps he can also help us to support others. And then in our district, then we can be having like many, many musicians who can even be used during our events. Yes, because here in Rwanda, during the implementation of the government policy, they really wish to meet with people, community members, and when they meet them, they really use also some celebrities. Yes, like during mobilization, they call actresses, they call musicians, uh, dancers. Then the district of Rusiz, they sponsored me just to pay for the studio for my first album. When I finished producing my first album, it was, my songs were played in all radio stations. Yes, and then I became famous, and some organizations like local organizations, international organizations, they started working with me. Yes. Then since then, I said, I'm now working with some international organizations, local organizations, but behind me, around me, there are so many youngsters who are also jobless, who are hopeless, because they really don't see what they can do. Yes, even if those who see what they can do, they really don't get a support. Yes, yeah, I cannot say that the financial support is the first thing that is really needed, but also the moral support, the guidance. Yes, sometimes you can be having a dream, but when you miss someone who can guide you, perhaps you can even be having like a talent, but with not enough skills. But when you meet some people who can perhaps help you to increase the skills, or perhaps to empower you, especially in the talent, for the talent that you have, yeah, in future it can really become a source of income for you. Because yeah, you can work for it, and then you earn money. That's how I started my Necessary Generation, which is a local NGO fighting for the sustainability of young generation. When I started Necessary Generation in the village, in my village, there was so many problems. Yes, like street children, well, many in the street of Rusizi. Those women who got pregnant at school, after getting pregnant, then they leave school. Then I said, I see my country is growing, yes, but we can really not have a better country in future, because the young generation of today, some of them, they are street children, some of them, they are not at school, some of them, they are hopeless, yeah, especially because of some reasons like the genocide. You know, it was just after the genocide, and many troubles. That's how I started Necessary Generation, and then we started by gathering those street children, calling those young women, those who are hopeless, who left school. Then we meet. Once we meet, we talk with them. I call like some authorities, local authorities, and then they come together. Once we are together, that was actually happening during my event on Christmas of feeding the street children. Once they come, being together after perhaps eating, after drinking, then the time of a talk, just a talk with those young generation started. Once the talk starts, the main focus was of like just listening to them, yes, because those youngsters, the big problem they have, they are not heard, yes, they have problems, and really they struggle to see who they can address their problems, yes. But during that event, everyone was given the time to express, to talk really what is in the bottom of their hearts. Yeah, so finally the government found that my organization really is doing well and is contributing to the development of the country. That's how they even
Oh, I think the connection lost.
Yes.
started
Well,
is
it's come back.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
especially especially mobilizations, different campaigns. Yeah. So far, now I can say that Necessary Generation is proud of the output, or perhaps of the achievement that we got since 2008. Yeah. And now, when I talk about myself, during that struggle, the struggle of really seeing what can I do, what can be my contribution to my country, to the life of other youngsters. Yeah, I did my best, and now yeah, I'm a musician. I have a studio, country records. I'm even initiating a radio station in Rusizi, in the western province of Rwanda. a radio station that will also play a big role by involving the young generation, just giving them the time to express their dream, just to talk and to just, I don't know how I can say. It's really a radio station that will give the time to young generation just to talk and to, yeah, just to talk and yeah, I think briefly that's what I can say. Yeah,
and that's how we found each other in 2017, because of the common goal to empower youngsters, like you said, Yvan, that's very necessary, and to also create awareness about the global goals, of course, the SDGs, but also ICT. And that's something for you, Yvan. Can you please tell us why you got so enthusiastic about ICT and what you're doing?
Yeah. Well,
okay, thank you.
Yes, please. Yeah, please, Yvan.
Yes, I was saying that the reason why I became so passionate about ICT and the ICT training given by and for youngsters is because in my academic background, for now I'm only a high school graduate, but I still need to pursue my passion and love of ICT so that I can get higher degrees. But I wondered why can't I at least start with what I know to help with my community so that I can maybe develop my community as well using the skills that I learned of ICT. And that also, what also inspired me is that the community in general, don't have much knowledge or much ideas about ICT. So that's how the idea came up. Like if there is a way we can provide the ICT basic training, it will be easier and so fruitful for the community. Because what I try to observe from other communities, like foreign communities, like for example, look at Monique. She has grandchildren, she's a grandmother, but she still knows how to use her smartphone and her computer. So here in Rwanda, only few grandmothers can use their computers. They don't know how to use their computers, they don't know how to use their smartphones. They think that the only use for smartphones is only to call and read text messages. Yet there is so much more you can do with that. They think that with the computer, that's for youngsters. That's a youth thing, not our thing, the old generation. So that kind of ideology is what we need to somehow try to avoid and show the good impact of ICT and the ways that it can be used differently to develop each and everyone. Of course, if they are interested. So that's what driven me to pursue the love of ICT and provide the ICT give back to my community, what I got also through all those years of studies.
Yeah, thank you, Yvan. And that was what we found out the first year of our collaboration. Our question to you was, to you, Jean Paul and Yvan, how can we contribute to jobs, new jobs, and a better life of youngsters in your country? And you came with the same answer as Nepal, as Kenya, ICT first. So ICT for us now is a basic need, because you showed us first ICT, because then you can connect, you can develop yourself, you can even educate yourself. And a little bit more about that, maybe Jean Paul, you can tell us about the start of ICT basic training, where you were part of as a trainee, Yvan. So maybe Jean Paul, how did you start with the ICT basic training in 2018?
Okay, thank you. After meeting with one old citizen, we said what can be the main focus of our collaboration. So here in Rwanda, we did the research, a survey of seeing what can be the topic of for the two organizations, one was Citizen and Necessary Generation. We did a survey in Kigali and some secondary cities, especially Rusizi, Musanze, and the other districts. Then we found that all youngsters, what they need is ICT. Yes. When you look at the development of this country, you see that ICT is like the backbone of the development. Then we said, if the survey shows that those youngsters really need ICT skills, yeah, let's now choose ICT topic. Then we said, most of youngsters, some of them, they well at school, and at school there is the ICT topic in every school, but really the skills that students get were really not enough. Well, the skills that the students get at the secondary school really were not enough. Yes. And also the topics that, for example, the ICT teachers choose for the student were really not relevant. Then we said, let's see how we can train some youngsters, especially in ICT basic training, because at that time we were talking with youngsters from secondary school who were even not able to send like emails, who didn't have skills of like using the YouTube, doing research on internet. Then we started by equipping them with relevant skills, especially in ICT. After that, we trained a big number of youngsters in different districts of Rwanda, and then some of them later became became trainers to other teams. Yes, especially the youngsters in their villages, in their home place. After this ICT basic training, I think it's also where we met with Yvan and his team, the ICT talk. Yeah. When Monique was in Rwanda with some OWC members from Kenya and Nepal, I'm talking about Pradeep and Augustine. We went to visit Yvan school. Yes, because at Yvan school there is a faculty of ICT. Then we went there because they were interested by some of our OWC member who is called Zubair. Yeah, we were working together before. We went there, and then we found that among those students from that school, some of them wish even to get more skills. Yes, that's how we started. And then after the school, after finishing the secondary school, Yvan and some team members, they met, and then we continued to empower them, especially in ICT skills. And then later they initiated ICT Talk, which also contributed to the spread of ICT in different places here in Rwanda. Yeah. But now when we look at what we did, now we see that really the topic the ICT topic is really the right. It's really the right topic because now in Rwanda everything is digital. Yes, we are really we are really going digital because whatever you do, buying internet, paying the health insurance, uh, going to market, they all require ICT skills. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's even why now, still now, we keep on improving, we keep on trying to make it happen, and also keep on spreading the skills to the big number of youngsters, especially here in Rwanda. And luckily, we are with Yvan and his team members who are also youngsters, yes, so motivated, so committed. So we hope that this journey of spreading ICT will really, yeah, we will make it happen because so far we even got some partners, including some youth centers, the district, the Ministry of ICT. Yeah, we even have like a common project that we are going to do together soon. So I think
Yeah.
that briefly, that's what I can say.
Yeah, so we started in 2017 to find the best topic to start for youngsters and also to make work out of it. So a startup, and that was you, Yvan. So you started ICTalk. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you. Like Jean Paul said, it, ICTalk began the moment we met Monique Bantam through her visit on our school. Later, when we finished our school, it was in 2018. So we had a team. At first, we started as a team who were working in collaboration with One World Citizen and Necessary Generation in the ICT Basic Training Program. But later, as we developed ourselves, we had this big idea like, why can't we have our own thing? Why can't we create like our own youth led enterprise, something that belongs to us, so that if we think of youth empowerment, it has to start with us. We have to be an example to the community that you can start at any age and create something big on your own. So that's how ICTalk came to creation. But we had some challenges, of course, because we were like, now we need to get into IT business, and we have no experience at all. We are only these young girls and boys who just finished their high school studies. And where do we start? What do we do? So I want also take this moment and thank Monique Vanda because she was there with us through the whole journey. Uh, she and the One World Citizen family uh, agreed to sponsor to take on some professional ICT courses, like the web design courses and graphic design courses, and also uh, volunteered to send us a professional entrepreneur who's Egbert. I think most of the people in One World Citizen community know who Egbert is, where he provided us with the youth start basic training. Like we talked about business management and how to start up your business. So after all of that, I think we were ready to create our own enterprise. So we created ICTalk. It started officially in 2019 in October, I think. Yes, it was in October 21st. That's when we officially registered as ICTalk as a private youth-led enterprise. And later on, we kept on working with One World Citizen and Necessary Generation on the project of ICT basic training, on the Global Goals Rap Challenge. But later, we also started another project which has not yet commenced, but we are working on it, which is called the Smartphone Basic Training. It's quite similar to the ICT Basic Training. We'll be empowering the local communities, mostly in rural areas, with the smartphone basic skills, because we've realized that most of those Rwandan citizens from rural areas don't know the use of smartphones, don't know how they can make use of them. And yet, in Rwanda, we have this very good program which is called Connect Rwanda, whereby every family is supposed to have a smartphone. So if they don't know how to use their smartphones, I don't see any use of those smartphones to them at all. So that's something that we are working on, and we hope with in collaboration with you guys, the ones who are following us, we would love it so much if you kept on showing the love and support. And I think, like we always say, together we can, with no one left behind.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan,
Absolutely.
and I'm sure you will. Then we did a few other projects. You just mentioned one, the Global Goals Rap Challenge. In 2018, we were even able to make a video clip. And maybe you can tell us something about that, Jean Paul.
Thank you. During the visit of Monique and Germain Bridjota here in Rwanda, already Germain had a project of Global Goals Rap Challenge, which is a musical project of spreading the SDGs using the rap music. Then he came in Rwanda, and then we found that it's a big opportunity, because in one world citizen we have like some people with talent, especially Germain and me, who really can sing and make a great song. Then we decided to make a song which is called the Ubuntu. It's a song about global goals, yeah, where we're asking everyone to get involved. The song, we made the audio, and then by the help of one world citizen, we even made the video. We produced the video in Kigali, and the feedback after we produced this song, the feedback was really somehow amazing, because the government of Rwanda, in partnership with UNDP, the United States Department of I don't know the long names, they invited us in a great event which is called Youth Connect. Yes, yeah. It happens every year. We will invite there to perform the song at that event. Different also radio stations and media houses, they also used that song, they play that song, especially when they are talking about the global development. Yeah, and also a part of that, for the Global Goals Rap Challenge, we even said, let's also start this in Rwanda. Yes. Now, but unfortunately, the COVID came. Yeah, the yes. COVID came. When the COVID came, it really disturbed everything. But we started this project with the Global Goals Rap Challenge, especially here in Rwanda. We have some youngsters who are ready to participate. I think within in 1 month, all the videos about the project will be at online, because we started this, we collaborated with the Rubavu district, where the district has kind of partnership with the Netherlands, the Eindhoven city, I think.
Yes.
Then we are working together, and also the young generation, they really like this project because it gives them the time of expressing their thoughts on how perhaps the SDGs can be achieved. Yeah, it's like a kind of telling them, so we want to implement this, but we just want you, young generation, to give us the way, or perhaps to give us the line, the road of how we can make it. Really, for this project, you see that all youngsters who are ready to participate, they are really happy because they feel that they have value. Yes, because they think what's the message of in the music that they are going to make, they are sure that it will also be heard and listened, and then the people who will be listening to that music, then they will perhaps count on them during the decision making. Yeah.
We have a
thank
question
you.
actually from a viewer, Mr. Kirenga Mizero Frank, or Mr. Frank Kirenga Mizero, to Jean Paul, and it's about this, Jean Paul, and he says, let me see if I can put the question up. Jean Paul, what do you see in the young generation in these coming years? What do you expect from them? And maybe what is your role guiding them? But maybe the most important in this, and the connection to what you said previously, what do you think that can come out of these youngsters? So what do you expect from them, Jean Paul?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I can say that the young generation are like the engine of everything. Yes, when you work with young generation, whatever you plan can happen. Yes, they because in young generation they are motivated. They are really also willing to show some positive impact. Yes. What I see is that, first of all, being a young generation is another great potential. First of all, yes, because you cannot compare young generation, for example, with like all the people, because young generation they once they decide once.
First of all, being a young generation is another great potential.
Somebody opened the live stream on the computer. Let me see, who is it? We hear a little echo.
Yeah.
But it's gone. It's gone.
Okay, thank you. So what I see in young generation is really great achievement, bright future. But once they decide, or perhaps they choose to come together and work together, exchange, yeah, and also increase their skills, because in this life of today, we are really everyone is asked to increase their skills. Yes, because we are in the world which is really moving so fast. So, but once those young generation really come together and get relevant skills, I really see that the world of tomorrow will really be amazing, and they will not be no more troubles once really the young generation come together and really work together. Yeah, because in them they have power, they have everything. Only what really they are missing, perhaps it's like a kind of support, also a kind of like being heard, being given an opportunity to express what they think. Yeah, but once this happens, really we can expect more amazing things in young generation.
Yeah, and every
Wow.
time we meet them
Thank you.
and working together with them, we see they have the ideas for change. They see the development that's necessary, and then they
Yeah.
need, like you say, Ivan, the empowerment
Yeah,
to be ready to make it happen.
yeah.
We have not much time left, but we have many more other things to talk about because you are undertaking so many projects in Rwanda. So I think what we can do is invite you for another time to talk about some of the other projects that you're doing
Yeah.
in Rwanda.
That's a
I
good
heard
idea.
about student teams that are working on a ICT van. I heard about the Kafade project in which women start producing clothes in Rwanda with natural printing.
We have the
There's
action box.
the action box
Yeah.
where the global goals and ICT is connected and people can open workspaces work on them. So many projects to talk about, but little time in this episode, so I really want to invite you another time. But before we get to the end of this episode, we have a quick round, and well, a quick round does mean that we have questions, short questions for you, but also short answers. And if we want to know a little bit more, you can tell a little bit more, but we'll ask you to that. But yeah, as I said, not much time, so please respond from the first intuition you have. Monique, maybe you can start off with the first question. If there's somebody watching and who has another quick question, we can still involve it. And otherwise, leave your questions also in the comments for next episode.
Yes.
Monique,
Okay.
first question.
Yes. For you, Ivan, what is your favorite global goal?
Oh, that's easy. Quality education.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful.
Good answer. Jean Paul, what is your biggest passion?
Sorry?
What is your biggest passion?
My music.
Why?
Oh, wonderful. Singer, producer, radio man. Oh yeah, that was another project we should talk about. To Ivan then, what is your funniest memory of One World Citizens, or a good memory of One World Citizens?
Oh, well, the greatest memory, and which is fun but not funniest memory of One More Citizen, was my birthday. One More Citizen, I did celebrate my first ever birthday in my life. It was celebrated with my One More Citizen family, so that's kind of unforgettable.
Wow.
Yeah, it was last year in 2008, 2019. It was 28,
that
28
was the
of,
first ever birthday celebration I ever had in my life.
yeah, it was 28th of November, I guess. Am I right? Or 29th?
30th of
Okay,
November.
30th.
You
Okay,
are-
okay, okay. I arrived.
That's why we are One World Citizens family, right? So we celebrate together, we work together, we do everything together for a better world, huh?
Yes.
Next question to
when
Jean
we
Paul.
recorded the song
Sorry.
for August, the
Please,
night
please.
when we recorded the song for Augustine's wedding, I can't
Yeah, I thought
forget.
that was your funniest memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
But
awesome.
let's keep a short answer. Maybe next time I ask you to tell about it.
Yeah.
Please do.
For-
Yes,
yeah.
another question to Jean Paul. Which One World Citizens country would you like to visit?
Netherlands, of course, because I really wish, yeah. Yeah, I just wish to meet those youngsters because I was really motivated by seeing those committed youngsters from Netherlands who are really committed to come together just with like the one goal. Oh my God, I really wish to be there perhaps one day.
Yeah, next time we tell more about your collaboration for both of you with this, for example, the Dutch youngsters, because I think that's also what you mean. Yeah. Ivan, what is your who is your biggest inspiration?
Okay. Monique Vandam, you are my biggest inspiration. Like,
Again?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mine too.
One question. Do you have other friends too? Do you have one friend or do you have more friends?
No, I only got one inspiration.
Okay,
And
okay,
that
good.
is you. Everything I do day by day, I always try to like fear in your steps and see if I fear in your ways because they are so convenient. You are so inspiring. You are a very powerful woman in our community. Like everyone would be interested to look up to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I almost fall off my chair. But thank you. Yeah, I like
a very nice
collaboration too.
expression,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And by the way, it's really, we grow together in One World Citizens. So it's always co-creation. We always make it together. So also you are my inspiration. Yes. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Last question for you, Jean Paul. What is your favorite quote?
There is a quote of President Paul Kagame. Yes, he said, "We will never stop thinking big."
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's continue this. Yeah.
We need to be able to dream, huh? And to work towards our dreams together. Thank you so much. That was the end of the quick round, and I think also the end of this first interview with you. I'm again very happy that like the internet connection stayed up most of the time, and we could hear you all well. And we, as I said before, we have much more to tell and to share. You have much more to tell and to share about what's going on in Rwanda. So we definitely want to invite you again to tell about it, to focus deeper onto the projects you're working on, also to inspire more youngsters in Rwanda, but also here in the Netherlands and everywhere else in the world. So thank you very much for your time, Ivan and Jean Paul. And thank you for being here. And we definitely got to know you a little bit better. So I'm very glad for that as well, that we finally see the faces of the living legends in Rwanda, also in the One World Citizens Reporter. Maybe, Monique, before we go to the end of this episode, you have some news or updates to share with us. It's the last part of each episode. We focus on what is going on in our network. So before we close it, please share with us, Monique, the latest news.
Yeah, there's one big item this week. I know that Jean Paul is on the way to Rusizi to start the Country FM radio. So hopefully next week we meet you in the studio. Well, or next time for the he's not there anymore. Oh yes. Yeah. So the good news, because of COVID, like Jean Paul said, we had to wait about 6 months to make it happen, and it was so important. But right now, you're on the way, and the radio will start this week. So that's the biggest news we have.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So definitely can get back to that topic again. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you, Monique, for helping with the interview today. And of course, again, a great thank you to Jean Paul and Ivan. And well, if there's anything, share in the comments, share this video later on in the network, in your personal network, and see you next week.
Thank you, Alice, for making it happen. And yeah, see you all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.